This is the download from Sounds Profitable, your daily source for the essential news in the business of podcasting. I'm Gavin Gaddis. Here's what you need to know for today, Monday, April 6th. First up, Red Seat Ventures launches Speakeasy, a new hosting, distribution, and monetization platform. Speakeasy, Red Seat Ventures' new owned and operated podcast hosting platform, serves as a hub for content creation with monetization, hosting, and content distro all in one place. The platform supports, quote, the full range of modern formats from RSS to HLS and video, end quote. In Ashley Carman's issue of Soundbite covering this announcement, Red Seat Ventures CEO Chris Balfe highlights the complicated nature of modern podcast distribution beyond the traditional RSS feed. One content hub attracts future content partners and eliminates payments for third-party hosts for ad placement. Next up, beyond the broadcast, why podcasts are the new home for sports fans. Sports Social Podcast Network Director of Sport, Jim Salveson, highlights podcasting's power to connect with audiences, build trust, and provide flexibility unavailable in traditional broadcast media. Podcasts are opt-in, with consumers seeking out specific shows and hosts. According to Edison Research's sports audio report, 51% of general sports fans will continue following an athlete even if they're traded to a new team. By contrast, 76% of sports podcast listeners continue to follow a traded athlete. Salveson pitches outcomes for broadcasters launching official podcasts: follow teams or players across events, target younger mobile-first audiences, or even create native language content for international listeners. Next up, OpenAI just acquired Silicon Valley podcast TBPN. TubeFilter covers the recent acquisition of tech podcast TBPN. The Financial Times reported the deal is valued, quote, in the low hundreds of millions of dollars, end quote. The deal includes a editorial independence covenant limiting OpenAI's editorial influence on the show's news coverage. OpenAI has made the show ad-free. Marketecture Media founder Ari Paparo published the hot take, quote, I'm sorry, but this deal makes no sense financially, editorially, or strategically, end quote. Over on X, the Everything app, Anthony Pompliano proposes the framing that OpenAI's investment isn't necessarily in TBPN itself as a business or show. It's an investment in the TBPN team. By letting hosts operate without the stress of ad sales, OpenAI is investing in a media tool that might destigmatize generative AI for broader audiences. Next up, podcasts can be submitted to TuneIn again. Pod News reports the TuneIn broadcaster portal, closed since February of 2024, has reopened. This follows the acquisition of TuneIn by Stingray Group back in November of 2025. Pod News notes that TuneIn's podcast directory remains the default path for getting podcasts into Tesla cars and on Sonos speakers, in addition to other platforms. And for our final top story, the Sound On era. Spotify's new report, developed with bold insight, includes a survey of 5,000 audio app consumers in 5 markets and 105 media planners and buyers from 12 markets. 86% of Spotify users report they silence video on other platforms to listen to music, podcasts, or audiobooks instead. 75% of consumers report they typically remember the audio content they listen to. That's 10% higher than social media content scored. Spotify positions itself, and by extension audio advertising in general, as the place brand voices are heard, not just seen and skipped. As for the rest of the news, Libsyn and Buzzsprout have signed up with Apple Podcasts to distribute video podcasts using Apple Podcast HLS. Oxford Road SVP Media, Miranda Romano, has a new LinkedIn article arguing the creator ecosystem is a marketing funnel and why podcasting needs to sell it like one. YouTube's annual Brandcast presentation is slated for May 13th, 2026 at the Lincoln Center, with comedian and podcaster Trevor Noah set to host. AdsWizz Senior Manager Sales Marketing Amy Noling has published 3 key takeaways from her time at South by Southwest and Podcast Movement Evolutions 2026. Podscribe has published the March edition of its industry ranker, including NPR climbing the charts for top podcasts by audio reach, to have Up First and NPR News Now at number 3 and number 4, respectively. Odyssey has a new insight on why audio has a big opportunity to target baseball fans. And a new episode of the Scalable podcast features guest Luka Dukic, Vice President of Content Marketing for the Chicago Bulls. Be sure to check out the links to every article I just talked about by clicking the one link in your show notes, which take you to today's episode post on soundsprofitable.com. Today's issue of The Download was written and produced by myself, Brian Barletta, Tom Webster, and Molly DeMillier. For Sounds Profitable, I'm Gavin Gaddis, and I'll see you tomorrow.